Welcome back to the Future Print and Pack Summit. I'm delighted to introduce our next session, Mr. Paolo Grasso, who is Sales Director for Actega Metal Print. Welcome, Paolo.
Very good morning or good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Nice being here. Thank you, Marcus, for inviting us to this wonderful event.
Thank you very much. And whereabouts are you located, Paolo?
I'm located in Italy, north of Milan, on the beautiful Como Lake, and glad to be with you virtually in Cambridge today. We're really excited to introduce this disruptive technology.
Fantastic. It's a beautiful part of the world and a very innovative part of the world. So it's a good place to be. So your session, Paolo, is Actega Ecoleaf for a bluer world. So you're going to give us a little bit of a talk, and then we're going to have a few questions around the product and around, how the product works and its advantages. So please present.
Stage is mine. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Marcus. So I'll share some slides which I prepared. So Actega has this new motto: let us make the world a little bluer, where blue is the new green. Actega are working intensively on a number of innovative technological solutions, all starting from chemistry, because Actega is part of the multinational, multi-billion Altana Group, which owns a number of companies, some of them highly specialized in the graphic industry. Among them, it's Eckhart and Actega, especially for the coatings and primers. So Actega Metal Print is basically an R&D startup of Actega, founded in 2017. And this year itself, we had some changes in the management. So the new joint are myself as a sales director. I come from the world of analog printing machines, but for the label industry. So 20 years in the label industry, I know it quite well. And we have the latest new entry is Stefan Plentz as a CEO of the company. He comes from a 30 years experience with Heidelberg, and he was in the last 10 years as a board member. He was CTO of Heidelberg. So again, a deep connoisseur of our industry from the technological side. And then, of course, we got Harald Jasper, who is with the company since many years already. He is our COO and is coming from Bobst. So again, Actega has grabbed a bunch of industry experts to support the development of this disruptive technology, which I like to define like a real game changer in the industry, because what we try to do is to reduce or even eliminate the use of foils, being hot foils or cold foils, for a simple reason that they are plastic based, and most of that becomes a waste, because when you have decorated labels like the ones you see on the right side, you can understand that more than 50%, sometimes up to 95% of the metal portion is a waste. So what we do, we reverse the paradigm. Instead of selling you plastic foils with metallized flakes on top, we only sell you the leaves, the flakes, which you really need to deposit on the graphics to get the effect. So like you see in the picture. And those can obviously be overprinted. They can create special effects. So coloring is not an issue. And obviously they work on the widest range of media available today in the market. So being the papers for the wine and industry, wine and spirits industry, or the cosmetic industries with the films. And here is the result. So we eliminate that portion of foils, which, like I said, is about 50 to 95% of waste of good product, actually, at the end of the day. And we reduce it, we reduce these tons of plastic into a few kilos of real metal flakes. So you can imagine the impact, the huge impact that this has on the CO2 footprint for printer, converters, and the brand owners as well. In fact, here we have a few figures that I'd like to share always. It shows on the green lines the impact of Ecoleaf when compared to cold foil stamping. We did this assessment with a big company, certified company here in Europe, and it clearly shows that the impact on CO2 emissions can be down to 5 times less than cold foil printing. Now, just to give you a few figures for better understanding, an average converter in this industry would easily transform about 6 tons of foils per year. That's just an average converter. Right? Bigger companies can go much above that. We use, instead of 6 tons of foil, we use 2 kilograms of flakes, of metal flakes. And in terms of CO2, that turns out to be 20 tons of CO2 reduction. Now, if you want to compare 20 tons of CO2 reduction, you would need to plant about 100 new trees. And that's every year, and that's only for one converter, one average converter in the industry. Now you multiply that by 10,000, tens of thousands, which are there in the world, and you can get a feeling of what adopting Ecoleaf could mean for our industry. So even if we would just change 20% of it to start from, it would be already a great achievement for the planet. The message we always want to give to the brand owners is that we need to work together. From our side is in terms of technology development. This technology was invented by Benny Landa. It was then taken over by Actega for the development and is today available in the market. We have seen a few days back the COP26 before the G20 in Rome. The governments are willing to finance with investments which will be trillions of dollars in the coming years, in the years to come, to make sure that the impact, our impact on the planet can reduce, and therefore the temperature and the emissions can reduce. When those money will be on the table, my question is, what will the industry do? Because money is not a problem, apparently. Renewable energies alone are not sufficient. That's what came out of the COP26. So it means we all have to work hands in hands with solutions to the industry. And here is my message to the brand owners. If you can do your bit by changing the specifications in your packaging, and be aware that this technology, Ecoleaf, today is available. And if you specify it for your jobs, not only you can send out a message to the market that you get better sustainable, and it is proved sustainability, but you allow the converters and the printers to change their way of decorating labels and packaging in general. And therefore, all together, we can win this challenge towards a greener, bluer world. The technology is extremely simple, extremely flexible. It's based. It's a digital solution based on a trigger image. So the design of the areas of the graphic areas that needs to be metallized. This can be given by flexo or screen printing or inkjet. It's then UV cured. Then what we do, we prepare these leaves of metal on top of a silicon coated drum. So we recreate the same effect of a coil foil, but on a silicon coated drum. And then by turning this drum, we'll leave only the desired amount of metal flakes on top of the graphics. So it's a totally plastic-free process. There is no plastic involved. Very green, again, very sustainable. And then the final result can also be overprinted to get any kind of metallized and colorized effect. It could be gold, it could be any other color. Those are pictures to highlight the fact that the technology is available, is existing, it's out there in the market at customers who are already past the beta phase, and they are actually in production.
Brilliant. So thanks so much. I think that's very clear. Some of the sort of advantages and the unique attributes of the product. So thank you for that, Paolo. Looking at it, I can see immediately that luxury packaging is what kind of applications is this geared? Do you think much more on that end of the market, or is it got a wider remit than that?
It's a good point, Marcus. In fact, obviously, for the present, I would say that the industry we refer to is anything which is highly decorated, and therefore luxury packaging falls normally in that direction. But the use of foils is getting wider, because every brand owner wants that eye-catching feeling on the shelf, so wants to be selected among others. Problem that foils are also expensive to use, so not every product, let's say, can carry the cost of foils. Ecoleaf, the beauty of Ecoleaf is that it's not only green, it's also cheaper than foiling, because we remove a big portion of the cost involved with foils and the recyclability of that. So it's like we would say we have now the electric car, which is even cheaper than the diesel engine, so that's a win-win. So the industries we refer to are primarily the wine and spirits and the cosmetics, especially the luxurious cosmetic products. Those are the industries which use mostly foil. But like I said, there are plenty other industries that would use foil, would adopt it, if it would be better affordable. And that's also one direction we move towards.
Yeah, brilliant. So what you're saying is it's environmentally positive, so it really links with that need to reduce, and also it's economically advantageous as well. So often those two things don't come together. So that's really quite powerful. With sustainability in mind, is sustainability, because obviously Actega, as you explained, Actega Metal Print is part of a much bigger organization, Actega. Is sustainability important to the entire business, or is it mostly focused on Ecoleaf?
No, absolutely. Good point. Actega, as part of the Altana group, looks at sustainability from every possible angle. The owner of this group is absolutely sensible to this topic, looking forward to the new generations. Therefore, they made a statement that by 2025, the Altana group will be completely at zero impact in terms of CO2 emissions. And they are working on their own companies itself, with the adoption of new renewable energies to power the plants, as I said, from every aspect of their own industry to reduce the impact. and that's on one side. On the other side, Actega has really started to invest in research and development into new technologies. So Ecoleaf is one of those here in Europe. I can mention another huge project we are working on is the Signite in the United States. So here in this part of the world, we have the foiling without polyester foils. In the United States, they have the self-adhesive labels without the face stock. So it's really projects where we look to reduce the amount of raw materials used in the industry. And because of this, the consequences, of course, the products get also cheaper because you reduce enormously the weight of the raw materials that you use.
Yeah, and you know, following on what you were saying about COP26, I mean, the event, you know, people will have seen some of the presentations from James Bull at Tesco, which, you know, Tesco, a massive retailer in the UK. It really is at the forefront of demand for consumers want sustainable products. But when they buy a luxury product, they also want it to look expensive and nice and appealing. So you've got that really good mix of the two strong, unique propositions of the product. You obviously sell Ecoleaf technology to converters, but what, you know, you kind of touched on it, but what are the advantages for brands in your mind?
Yeah, that's exactly what I call the win-win game changer of this technology. At the end, if you look at it from the economics perspective, it's primarily the converters who always look for new ways, new solutions to get their products cheaper and to possibly make more money. On the other hand, the sustainability topic plays a huge role for brand owners who are extremely sensible because they get the push from the bottom, the push from the market, from the Greta Thunberg and all the new generations who ask to do something in order to help saving the planet, right? So with Ecoleaf, I think we really join these forces. And when we come, I just have here a product that I want to show you. This is a bottle of German Riesling wine. I hope that the audience can appreciate the shiny effect that we have on this open fiber paper of the label. Now, this product is absolutely good looking and eye-catching, like the normal foils. So our substituting technology delivers an equal kind of quality, and like we said, with a much better sustainability and at a lower cost. So for the luxury industry, which wants that super eye-catching effect, Ecoleaf doesn't represent at all an issue, a problem, a limit to be adopted because the quality is equal. From the economic perspective, there is also an advantage, and therefore Ecoleaf can allow probably to decorate in a nicer way also products which would normally not sustain the cost of foiling.
Yeah, so it gives a new creative possibility to different products as well. And I like your style, having a bottle of wine on your desk as well for a presentation. So it works also with Italian wine.
It does, definitely. Italian olive oils and all kind of wines. Yes, absolutely. We are very sensible to this topic.
Yeah, excellent. So thanks so much for that. That's very interesting. I think, you know, obviously if people want to connect with you, they can do via your profile on the website and your LinkedIn profile. Is there a specific web address?
Yes, we are actega-metal-print.com. That's our specific website. Anyhow, you type Actega Metal Print and Google will find it for you very easily.
Yeah, good. And going forward into the future, you see further developments with Ecoleaf all of the time. So I think we're going to see more of this, hopefully.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. I hope that, but I'm pretty sure you will. Now the development has been a never-ending process from 2017 when Actega bought it over from Lambda Labs. Until today. And today, Ecoleaf is a reality in the narrow web industry, which is typically the one for self-adhesive labels. So we are now concentrating to spread Ecoleaf as much as we can into this industry. But the projects for Actega are much wider and much longer term, because label printing is just a niche of the entire packaging and graphic industry. So the idea for us is to go wider, to offer Ecoleaf also for the sheet-fed industry and the wide web presses, being Flex or Gravure or who knows. So we have a very long-term commitment, like all the projects in Altana. We are not in a hurry, but we really want to give this message to the brand owners that today an alternative technology is available to be adopted, and it's materialized in the industry, in the market.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much again for joining us. Very interesting. Look forward to it developing into the future, and also impressive to hear you've got Actega has got net zero targets 2025 as well. So it's all with sustainability in mind. So thanks so much again for joining us.
Thank you so much, Marcus. Appreciate it.